Did the United States walk into a strategic trap in Iran, only to realize the broader implications much later? The ongoing Iran conflict now appears to be costing Washington far more resources and leverage than initially anticipated. But beyond the immediate battlefield, is the larger concern what unfolds if China steps into this equation? From Patriots to Tomahawks, could a future conflict expose gaps in US preparedness after heavy usage in Iran? Is Washington burning through critical firepower in Iran at a pace that may ultimately benefit Beijing's strategic position? The United States weapons inventory may be under increasing strain, raising concerns about readiness for future conflicts. A report by Business Insider suggests that critical munitions are being consumed at a significant pace during the ongoing Iran war. Over the course of just 39 days, US forces reportedly relied heavily on 7 key weapon systems in coordination with Israel. These findings were highlighted by 2 warfare specialists associated with the Center for Strategic and International Studies. According to defense analysts, such levels of consumption could pose challenges if a larger conflict were to emerge. The report indicates that while the US maintains substantial stockpiles, they may not be sufficient for prolonged or simultaneous wars. Even prior to the Iran conflict, assessment suggested that US stockpiles could be stretched in the event of a major confrontation with China. Experts have warned that replenishing munitions used in the Iran war could take considerable time and industrial capacity. Some estimates indicate that more than half of pre-war inventories for certain systems may already have been expended. The scale of US munitions usage during the Iran conflict is reflected in the numbers below. Around 1,430 Patriot interceptors have reportedly been used out of a total inventory of approximately 2,330 units. 4 SM-3 interceptors. Estimates suggest that between 130 and 250 missiles have been expended from a stockpile exceeding 400. In the case of SM-6 missiles, usage is believed to have reached up to 370 out of an available inventory of about 1,160. Precision strike missiles, considered a newer battlefield asset, have seen between 40 and 70 units deployed from roughly 90 available. Tomahawk land attack cruise missiles have also been used extensively, with more than 850 fired from a stockpile exceeding 3,000. Similarly, around 1,000 joint air-to-surface standoff missiles have reportedly been utilized from an inventory of over 4,000 units. In response, Washington is reportedly moving to expand production and rebuild depleted stockpiles. Lockheed Martin is expected to increase THAAD interceptor production capacity to approximately 400 units annually. Production of Tomahawk missiles is also being scaled up to exceed 1,000 units per year. However, estimates suggest it could take more than 4 years to fully replenish certain key systems. As a result, analysts believe the US could face increased vulnerability in the event of another major conflict. Many of the munitions expended in the Iran war are considered essential for deterrence and operations involving China. Military experts have emphasized the importance of maintaining sufficient long-range strike capabilities for future scenarios. The report further cautions that a potential conflict with China could lead to even faster depletion of US stockpiles. China's Navy has staged a live fire drills east of Luzon just as the Balikatan 2026 exercises put Allied firepower on display nearby, turning the region into a competing show of force. According to agencies, the Chinese Navy conducted a live fire exercises east of Luzon Island amid steadily rising tensions with both the US and Manila. On April 24th, Chinese state media aired tightly edited footage of the drills but conspicuously withheld precise dates and coordinates, keeping the exact scenario ambiguous. Beijing Southern Theater Command said the operations were meant to test sea-air coordination and rapid maneuvering, showcasing how fast its fleet can reposition in a crisis. Official statements described the drills as a necessary operation to safeguard national security, framing them as a response to what China sees as growing external threats. Reports now suggest the PLA's Liaoning Carrier Strike Group is operating east of Luzon alongside these exercises, putting a full Chinese carrier presence on the edge of the first island chain. The group reportedly includes multiple destroyers, frigates, support ships, and amphibious hulls, giving Beijing a balanced force for both offensive and defensive operations. At least one Type 055 destroyer, the Zuni, is said to be leading a task group within that formation, highlighting China's decision to put its most modern surface ship up front. The Type 055 is widely described as Asia's largest surface combatant, with reports noting it can pack around 112 vertical launch cells for a mix of missiles. Analysts say those cells can be loaded with a mix of hypersonic weapons, long-range anti-ship missiles and advanced air defense interceptors, turning the ship into a floating arsenal. Military analysts argue that by sailing a Type 055 so close to Balikatan, China is deliberately placing its most advanced surface combatant where US and allied sensors can't miss it. That presence turns the drills into strategic signaling as much as training, reminding Washington that any future blue water fight would involve these heavily armed flagships. Amid all this, online and regional reports have floated claims of a YJ-20 hypersonic missile launch during the operations, hinting that more exotic weapons may have been rehearsed. The launch reports remain unverified, but even the rumors signal a clear escalation in maritime posturing, with hypersonic threats now central to the message. The YJ-20 is described as a ship-launched anti-ship missile built for long-range strike missions, allowing Chinese warships to threaten targets far beyond the horizon. Its reported speed exceeds Mach 6 in cruise, with terminal velocity that could approach Mach 10 as it dives toward its target, shrinking reaction times to seconds. Open-source estimates put its range at roughly 1,500 kilometers, meaning a launch platform can strike deep into an opponent's defensive envelope without sailing close. Analysts say the missile likely uses a boost glide or quasi-ballistic trajectory, making its flight path hard to predict and more difficult for traditional radars to track. It is explicitly designed to go after high-value targets like aircraft carriers and heavily defended naval groups, not just lone surface ships. The weapon is built to punch through layered Aegis-style defense systems and missile intercept shields, exploiting speed and maneuverability to overwhelm defenses. As such, the YJ-20 is seen as a key part of China's anti-access and area denial strategy in the Pacific, raising the cost and risk of any US carrier operation near its shores. China's deployment comes just as the US and the Philippines kicked off a massive Balikatan 2026 exercise, underscoring the growing military face-off in the region. More than 17,000 troops from the US, the Philippines and other allies have joined the drills, including a major presence on Itbayat Island north of Luzon. Counter-landing alive-fire exercises are also planned in Zambales province, not far from China-controlled Scarborough Shoal, bringing training scenarios close to real flashpoints. Manila insists the drills are focused on disaster response and deterrence and are not aimed at any one country, even as everyone reads them through a China lens. Beijing counters that Balikatan is designed to contain China and only raises regional tensions, painting it as part of a broader US encirclement strategy. Notably, maritime strike drills on Itbayat put Allied forces only about 96 miles south of Taiwan, in waters central to any future cross-strait crisis.